Thanks, David, for bringing us this book. Congratulations. It's obviously really exciting. We've got some questions to ask you. So for everyone else, it's time for a Q&A for David. So feel free to type your questions into the chat. But David, first, what does a collaboration campaign look like compared to a virtual meeting?
So a collaboration campaign, it involves a series of virtual sessions leading up to a face-to-face. Traditionally, when we do face-to-face, often we bring people together, and if it's for one day, it's because they've traveled. If people travel internationally, you'll often find we'll say, let's do 2 days because we want to make the most of all of that time and traveling. So what we've learned is we want to focus all of our time in the room on building hearts and minds, emotions and connections. But we can preload that with lots of useful sharing of information so people get to understand each other. And an example of JP's story was, what amazed me most was after these 7 one-hour sessions, we all turned up to the workshop and felt extremely connected. So don't believe that you cannot connect virtually. You can. You just need to plan for it and ensure it happens.
Okay, thanks. And how do you see people using the book?
Oh, okay. So the book is here and I'm showing with you right now. So the book, I deliberately put it into a spiral bind because I would like you to use it like this. The book itself is not meant to be read once. It's a book that you can use as a reference over and over again. So I deliberately wanted the pages to be flat so it can be beside you as you work through it. We've also added in the book a whole series of these QR codes. Now, behind these QR codes are the method cards that we've developed over many years. And for what you see here is actually the physical method cards. They're small cards that have a particular tool and how to use that tool. Before COVID, these were all hard copy, as you could see, and I would lay them out on the table as we designed something. Today, you lay these cards out onto a digital whiteboard, have the same conversations as well.
Thanks, David. A question here, in a face-to-face forum, people can get up and move around and be engaged. How do you try to replicate that in a digital forum?
So great question. So what we've learned going digital, it's all short time slots. So if you were going to run a digital session, first thing, always aim for a 2-hour session max with a very clear break in the middle. You need to allow people to get up and to be able to stretch. It's critical you always do that. There's a tendency that people to let things roll, and by letting people roll, they get disconnected. So the key tool is to have short breaks continuously during your session.
Great. Thanks, David. So how do we get the book?
The book, the easiest way to get the book is to go onto our website at tryhelix.com.au, and there's a resources page, and you'll be able to go onto that, follow through that, and then just download the book. The book at the moment, because it's been launched, there's a 10% promo offer. So when you go in to purchase the book, if you type in launch lowercase, you will actually be able to download the book, and you will also be able to download the 250 method cards, and there's also some posters in there on collaboration around threats and rewards and obstacles to collaboration, which you can use with your teams to help them build confidence in the digital world.
Great. Thanks, David. Another question. How did you start to feel comfortable about digital collaboration?
Lots of chocolate. When I first started, and Andrew, you were with us on our journey, it was very difficult. I had to really push myself out of my comfort zone, and I had to practice. I just had to practice. I had to confront that unknown, give it a go, feel uncomfortable, then confront a new unknown. And a simple example, our first digital will involve 7 people, and then we are quite comfortable with bringing 90 people onto a digital whiteboard for a 2-hour session, which really, really gives you a sense of, with practice, your confidence will improve significantly.
Great. Thank you, David. There's a few more questions, but we might need to ask the most important question: what is next?
Oh, I've just got a wonderful question that came through. Video on or video off? Look, that's a classic one. I personally feel if you're in a small group of 5 or 6 people, the video should be on. Because it's imagining you're in a small room. If you're in a large group of 20 people, you really can't see people's faces. So I don't necessarily have a problem with that. But I have a very good story to share with you about what the video means. As part of the interviews, we interviewed Year 7 students, and one of the Year 7 students, who was in the middle of COVID, working remotely with their teacher, said to the teacher, "Miss, it's really interesting. If somebody doesn't turn their video on, it's like they walked into the classroom, went to the back of the room and turned their chair around and faced the back of the class." So I want to leave that with you. I would prefer you default to leave it on and then maybe not turn it off, but do not default to turn it off because you disconnect from the room.
Right. Thank you, David. And now, would you like to tell us what is next? You've launched the book now. What's next?
Well, I mentioned earlier, I'm already working on my next growth opportunity. So what we're going to do is create a series of webinars. And on a monthly basis, we're going to have a webinar. And what I wanted, my first topic will be about how to use these method cards. How can we use those to improve our collaboration campaigns? But I'd also like it to be a forum for open questions as well. So I will send out a link to register for that, and I will continue to do that on a monthly basis.
Great. Thank you, David. Congratulations on the book launch and the success of that. Thank you to everyone here. Thank you, David, for sharing your passion about collaboration and helping us all learn from your experience and helping us. Do remember, to get the book, go to the website, tryhelix.com.au, and you can use the discount code launch, all in lowercase, for the next 30 days. I think to mirror what Carmen told us, to be magnificent. So let's take a risk and be magnificent in digital collaboration. And thank you very much, and have a wonderful morning or afternoon or evening.